This is Randy Thurston, and welcome to A New Way of Being. The grass is greener on the inside. I'm Randy Thurston with Grass is Greener on the Inside. I'm here with Dylan Trimble, and as the co-host, again, welcome to segment 3.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Very excited. Have a couple questions here. We talked last about making that choice and higher awareness, asking powerful questions. Is there any cost to asking, and is there any thing that you might have to lose, asking these powerful questions?
Well, I think in life, there's always trade-offs. And I don't want to say losing or winning, because that's all kind of judgmental and that's all in the ego and the fear way of being, but trade-offs. So is life going to be the same if you go down this path? The question probably is not. Are people going to see you the same when you become the masterpiece of your own life and you're confident and you're not seeking approvals from others? Absolutely, they're going to see you differently.
Right.
So here's one of the trade-offs is how are people that you are used to being in a certain way with, and now that changes and they're going to react differently, and their thing is it's different. I like the Dylan that I could say something and he would react to. I like the Dylan that if I wasn't happy with him, I could do certain things, and I know that sooner or later he would come around because of the relationship that I've had. And it's not you, Dylan, it's all of us. We all have the people around us that are used to a certain way and a certain reaction, so that there is a trade-off. It's
Right.
going to be different. And a lot of people won't be able to be strong enough to handle that, I guess.
I forget where I heard it from, but it's always stuck with me. But and it's probably the truth. Michael Jordan probably didn't go to his grandma for advice on his three-point shot, and I think that's a great way to put it, because even though you absolutely love your family, they don't always have the best advice. And do you think MJ was getting highest scorer in the league, taking advice from his granny in that particular segment there? So, no, that's great.
Well, our families have, and again, I'm going to say this, most families have the best intentions for who we are and what they want for us. But it's based off of their limited possibilities. When you see people break out of certain family generations of being in a certain place, there was always that one that had powerful questions and higher awareness that went beyond the comfort level of how his family wanted to react with him there. Mm-hmm. And it's family, it's teachers, it's relationships, it's friends, it's workplace. All of those things around us are constantly used to you being in a certain way and reacting a certain way. So all of a sudden you now say, I have unlimited possibilities. Right. I have unlimited potential. I'm not going to look at life the way that you've always looked at life. I'm not going to look at life the way you want me to look at life. I'm going to look at life in a way that is just incredible, with unlimited potential, that nobody can take that away from me.
Right.
There's nothing that I can say to you that's going to keep you stuck once you make that choice. Mm-hmm. But there's a cost. All of a sudden, relationships change.
What makes that so hard for some people to necessarily start making the right decision for themselves and stop people pleasing and worrying about others that they can't control?
Well, I think you kind of answered it when you talk about people pleasing, fixing problems, doing those kinds of things. That's how we're wired consciously. Not subconsciously, but consciously we're wired that, just say, for example, my mom. My mom was very caring about me having the life she wanted for me. Now, in her mind, her life she wanted for me was the best thing for me, because I don't know of what the best life, but if I follow her lead, so if I did what she wanted, I was rewarded. And if I didn't do what she wanted, and I went off and did things that was foreign to her or not comfortable for her, she would try to punish me or get me to comply with she's right and I'm wrong. Well, I'm sorry, we're all snowflakes. We're all individuals, and I don't even like the word right or wrong. It's something that puts a label and puts judgment on, and people around us label us. People around us judge us. We label other people. We judge other people. So one of the concepts on the grass is the greener on the inside is a new word. It's called acceptance. What if you could accept everybody around you without trying to get them to accept you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Acceptance, the power of acceptance. What if you can accept yourself without the judgments and the stories and the labels that you put on yourself?
Accept and maybe not expect.
Acceptance versus expectations is powerful. Expectations always create a hidden agenda or stipulations, or I like you if you meet my expectations and I don't like you if you don't.
Right.
All of those things are tied in, but when you truly accept. So one of the things I'd like for people to do that are listening to this is, what if you accepted everybody around you for exactly who they are without trying to change them? And all of a sudden now you take it upon yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to accept myself. Acceptance, no labels, no judgments. I'm not going to sit there and say there's something wrong with me, or I'm an idiot, or I'm stupid, or I screwed up here. Wipe out all of those things from you, and from now on you have possibilities. You have unlimited potential only because you accept yourself and stop having stories and labeling yourself.
Absolutely. Once you made that choice, it wasn't always easy, I'm sure. We're all human. What are some things that you did to maybe force yourself to become in that positive mindset?
Well, there was two things, and I'm going to give you two awarenesses that I have that are different. I love my critics. I love when people take their shots at me. I love it when people try to have me feel something about myself, because here's my belief. My belief now in the grass is greener on the inside. If somebody is critical or trying to control me through words they say, it doesn't hurt me, it energizes me. It gives me energy, it gives me a motivation to be the best version, and they're trying to knock me down. And so when you look at just that piece itself, what does that do when in your mind, when somebody says something and say, I don't like you. I think what you're doing is terrible. And normal, if you're feeling under the influence, you're going to question and say, well, what could I do differently? How could I say something differently that they'll be okay with? As soon as you go with, I need to change who I am so they'll be okay with me, then they'll accept me. Well, guess what? They'll never accept you, because now they see you as somebody that they can throw comments to, and all of a sudden you're going to react to try to make them okay.
Form their opinion that they want you to have.
Yeah. So you're rewarding bad behavior on their part. So then that's the second thing is don't reward bad behavior. So when somebody is doing anything trying to control you, they're trying to, in their worst way, why cooperate with them and try to change who you are? And that's rewarding bad behavior. Their behavior, if they were on the grass is greener on the inside, they would accept you. They would want you to live to your highest potential. They would want you to be outside the box. They would like for you to have high energy and confidence and all of those kinds of things that isn't normal for people in relationships and families and workplace to really accept, because most people live in fear and ego-based way of being, and not the grass is greener on the inside.
Absolutely. What are a couple more tips of value that you might add?
Well, the first thing you need to understand with me is I am a work in progress. I have a lot of pluses and I have some minuses, like we all do. And it doesn't matter how far along you move on the grass is greener, you end up with more pluses, but you'll always have those minuses. And we all have different strengths and different weaknesses. So when you have an understanding that this isn't about one day you wake up and you can sit there and give advice to the world and you've got all the answers. I have no answers, just the possibilities of a different way of looking at it there. So if I'm going to take on an area that I have weakness, and one of them is I've gone through a lot of suffering. And the suffering really is a gift when you look at suffering you don't let it make you depressed or take away your value, suffering is an indication that you need to start looking at things differently. You need to find the gold nuggets in what's creating suffering and creating value in that. So all of a sudden, when there's value in something that would have knocked the air out of you, now you're actually kind of excited that it's coming in, as it's making you grow and be a stronger person. Without suffering, you don't grow. If you live in that world of comfort, like we talked about in the second segment, if you live in comfort and you don't grow, you're dying. So suffering is a mental thing. So when you understand that when you're having doubt and fear and stress in your mind and you're feeling inadequate, you will feel the feelings of suffering. So once that becomes an indication, you start looking for the nugget, you start asking different questions. All of a sudden, that's the possibility that then becomes a reality. So one of the things I do is I write sticky notes and stick on the mirror. So if I'm feeling any suffering, I will ask, why am I suffering? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? What am I lacking? What am I not looking at in a way? And what powerful question am I not asking that allows that suffering to really knock the air out of me?
You know, if I could add one thing that I see you do that I think a lot of people might be able to add that's helped me as well is procrastination. You know, a lot say they'll do it, then let me do it tomorrow, let me find some time. Well, why not now? You know, what's better to get you out of that negative thought routine and stay busy, go find something to do. We've all heard our mothers say it, but the devil plays with idle mind. And I think that's one of the easiest things to start is that I see you do. Like, I mean, you know, it's always, if it's on the schedule, let's do it now. Why not pop over there versus a phone call? When I try and text, why not phone call versus a text? So I think that's a big thing. Maybe you could expand a little bit.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up that, because again, I was not always the way I am now. And you see how I am now. If you bring up a potential opportunity or a client or scenario that needs to be dealt with, I say, give me the phone number, let's call them. Right now. I mean, it's not like anything. And there's no programming of what we're going to say, because the opportunity is real, is not created or staged or programmed. It's like, let's just deal with it. And I found a long time ago, one of my principles became the secret of achievement is having the thought and taking the action. And the success of that comes from the time it takes from the thought to the action. And obviously you see I've mastered it, that the time from a thought to an action for me is seconds versus days or weeks or months. And
trying to decide or planning, right.
Yeah, because in your mind, then you start creating all these stories, well, I'm not prepared enough. Well, why be prepared when you want to add value of what's real? You can't prepare for real. Real is real.
Right.
You know, it's the what is versus the what if. I want what is, which is real, and deal with it in the now immediately. And that's all part of a change in the way I process things, instead of what a lot of people do, is that they're quite not ready yet. Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, maybe
right.
tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. And the lack of success in creating the opportunities is astronomical, of the value that's lost by having the procrastination viewpoint.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I think we've give some really good examples. Hopefully, you know, some listeners and viewers found some value and added into their daily life there. What do you want to add before we go on to this next segment here? I know we have quite a few planned.
Well, the segments will never end with the grass is greener, no more than you can always reach the finish line in life. Because as you progress in how you're seeing things and moving forward in potential, your potential always increases as you get closer to your potential. So in that, I'm going to say that we're going to be with you for a long time, for those that want to be, for those that have questions, that have concerns. Start with the self-reflection and the self-discovery. Find out really what's in your process and how much that you're really driven in a way that has fear and ego. And then start asking the question, what if there is something to this? What if I could really, truly have a life that I love, a life that I design and nobody can take it away from me? And if the answer is, I think that might be a possibility, I think we'll be together for a long time.
And if you guys have any questions about the podcast, any questions you'd like us to go over, please feel free, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, hit the like button. Please share this video. Maybe send it to someone that you know is kind of going down a negative thought pattern. Right here, we'd love to answer the questions. Thanks, guys.